Coming up on This Week in Google, I'm Jason Howell filling in for Leo. We've got Stacey Higginbotham, Jeff Jarvis, and Pruitt. We're going to talk about the limitations of Google Translate. Pixel Buds have a sequel that might be coming very, very soon. The Microsoft Surface Duo that was announced this morning is running Android. Stacey gives us her favorite things from Amazon's hardware event. And Jeff feels vindicated for his hatred of dark mode. All that and more coming up next on Twig.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twig.
This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 528, recorded on Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019. Hey, Willie. This episode of This Week in Google is brought to you by Monday.com. Monday.com helps teams manage work and meet deadlines while building a culture of transparency. Manage all your core business activities in one place. Learn more at Monday.com/Twig. And by Kaptara. Find the right tools to make an informed software decision for your business. Visit Kaptara's free website at Kaptara.com/Twig. It's time for Twig, This Week in Google. I'm Jason Howell, filling in for Leo, who is gone. He's at the LastPass event that you've probably been hearing a lot about leading up to it. That happens tomorrow. So he's there. I think they're scoping the place. Maybe they're partying. I don't know. Maybe both. Who knows? Joining us, as always, today, of course, Jeff Jarvis is joining, buzzmachine.com. How you doing, Jeff?
Great. Glad to be here.
Nice.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Also, Stacey Higginbotham, Stacey on IoT.com. What's up, Stacey?
Everything. Everything. So much news. I can't wait.
We do have a lot of stuff to talk about. And, of course, here at the table, to my left this time. I think last time you were on my right.
I was on
so
the right the other time.
every time we'll, trade seats.
We'll see what
and
works.
Pruitt.
This is my bad. No, this is my good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
We can do a vote.
We got to figure out
which is
one.
Ant's good side.
Which side is the good side? The gray side or the not so gray side?
Oh, is there a difference?
Oh, there's definitely a difference, Miss.
What
I was
side
looking
is
at your
grayer than
facial
other?
features.
Yeah? Okay.
Oh,
All right,
less
so
gray,
that side's
more gray.
grayer.
You're right.
All right, so your left side is less gray. Your right side is more gray.
Pretty much.
Yo,
Depends.
I'm
here
just
we go.
weathered. That's all.
Yeah.
Hipster, gravitas. Hipster, gravitas.
There you go.
Please don't make this into a GIF.
Business in front, party in back. Yes, someone probably is already working on your animated GIF.
I want to start with something.
Okay, excellent. I love it.
Oh,
I
Take
have
it
been
away.
vindicated. Bottom of the rundown. Dark mode is for suckers.
Okay, I'm so happy you brought this up. I was wondering if it would end up making it in here. I'm curious
Yeah,
to.
we're starting with it because I'm vindicated.
Okay.
Gizmodo says it's all BS.
Okay, this guy on Gizmodo says it's all BS.
Yeah, this guy
You're right.
says it, but it's good enough for
He
me.
has some research.
Adam Angst at Tidbits explains in exhausting detail that except in extraordinary situations, dark mode is not easy on the eyes in any way.
Well, how is
Motherboard
that?
Samantha Cole reports the research has found that people with astigmatism, light text on dark backgrounds aggravates the condition, making text harder to read. What's more, as Suzanne Mayer, a University of Passau researcher, said, who conducted multiple studies and found which design screws with our brain, in all the studies, participants were better performing in the positive polarity condition, otherwise known as not dark mode. They detected more errors and read faster when dark text was presented on a light background rather than the reverse. So I just want this on the record that I'm not insane for my
done?
hatred for dark mode.
You hate it.
I'm not done. We're sticking with light mode. Light mode's the way to go. It's the way God made phones.
You know, John, could you just kill the lights in here? It's too bright for me right now. It's far too bright. Thank you. This is what we need to do.
Thank you, John.
Oh, there we go. So
yeah.
I know Ant has some opinions. I'll just throw out the 2 times that I've really I like dark mode on Twitter, where reading comprehension doesn't really matter as much because it's very short.
Yeah.
And then I also like it when I am in a professional setting or a conference setting, and I'm trying to type without everybody else being really aware of what I'm typing and that I'm typing. And dark mode is awesome for that.
Yeah.
So those are my pro dark mode moments.
I appreciate dark mode when I am in a dark environment. Like I think that is a very honest like application of why dark mode can be very useful. If I'm in a dark environment, like if I pick up my phone off the bedside table or whatever and it's dark in the room and I look at it, it's a bright white, like that does irritate my eyes.
Shocks you.
I mean, it's not like discomfortable or uncomfortable, not discomfortable, uncomfortable,
That's the word.
But at the same time, like a darker mode is more pleasing, so I can prefer it. Yeah.
Your eyes are smart. They figure it out.
Yeah, I'm sure. But
So when I have a migraine, dark mode is the only way I can get online.
Pulling out the migraine card, are we?
yeah,
I'm pulling the migraine.
it's a thing.
I'm pulling the cranky old man card, Jeff. Come on. I got to do the migraine.
And see,
It's a thing.
I battle with this, and I'm one of those people that see better at nighttime than I do in the daytime. And it's been that way for about as long as I can remember. As a matter of fact, just within the last hour, I was walking the hallway and I had on my sunglasses. And I had to think, take your sunglasses off.
Like you forgot that you were wearing them.
No. I want you to do the show in the sunglasses. This is your new look.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I would. But I really do.
You're the
get
Anna
better
Wintour
use.
of Twig.
I do get better use out of the dark mode on my eyes because of the sensitivity. I like having a better contrast when I look at the screen. And heck, even sitting in the office with Mr. Howell here.
Yeah, I like
when
that
I get here before them most of the time, and the office is dark, and I'll have on one little lamp because that's enough for me to see.
Do you look at your dark mode with sunglasses on? Are you double dark mode?
I have.
Super duper
Not
dark
on purpose.
mode.
Not on purpose, but I have.
All right, here's the next question. So when you're on a plane,
Sunglasses
there's a
on.
lot of fighting going on. Now, there's a lot of fighting going on these days on the rates on planes. And when I get on the plane, because I'm global services, bow down before me. I get on the plane before the pilot does.
Of
I get on it
course.
first.
Wow.
I go to my seat on the
Humble
aisle. I always raise the shades. I want the shades up. I can't stand when people the shades down. So are you a shades up or shades down person on planes?
Good question. Good question.
There's a good reason for this, though. I am a shades up for that, but that's because I am a aviation nerd. I love airplanes, so I'm always looking out with my sunglasses through those shades.
Yeah.
I'm a shades down. Jeff, I can't believe it. We don't agree on anything.
Shocking.
Surprise.
Again, for me, it mirrors my dark mode rationale. Like, it depends on the time of day. If it's daytime, I want the shades up. If it's nighttime or if it's like early morning, that's probably the more applicable time. Like if I, travel to the airport and it's like 5:30 in the morning and I have to catch a flight or whatever and the sun's going to be come up and I do want to sleep a little bit, sure, shades down. That's fine.
But I'm also the same person that discussed last week that I wear my glasses just sparingly.
Yeah.
And it's clearly helped my eyes over the years because I don't have to wear them all the time the way most people
No,
do.
it's vanity. It's pure vanity. And
No,
Okay.
I don't
You
wear my
got me.
glasses all the time.
not that you don't deserve
either.
it.
And it's because I hate having a filter between me and people I'm talking to.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know why. I always will
cannot
take them
walk
off.
to the bathroom from bed without glasses on. I can't do
man.
anything without glasses on.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
My eyes are probably about as bad as yours.
Wow.
It sounds like.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
All right. Well,
used
I
to
just
it.
want on the record here that
it's good.
Gizmodo says dark mode is for suckers.
And you're
Andrew
still
Couch
wrong.
says it, so we should all heed what he says.
That's it. I never quote Gizmodo, but now they're right.
Yeah, and I mean, a large part of what he's saying here is that it's a trend. Like, dark mode is a trend, therefore people like it because people like it. And I mean, yeah, there's probably a little bit of truth to that, actually.
Sheeples,
No.
dark mode sheeples.
But I know
agree
that I
with
like
that.
it for reasons outside of that, too. I think at certain times of day, for me, it's more aesthetically pleasing to my eyes.
Yeah, I agree with that. There are people that are following the trend because they've heard about it, but again, there's people like me. It's just for comfort.
Yeah, comfort. Yeah. And some people will tout the battery savings and everything. Andrew makes the point, like, if you really added it up, you're probably not saving that much. A lot of dark mode is not true dark anyways. It's like a shade of gray, and you're still burning battery when you do that. So what are you really saving? And you have to be on the, an AMOLED display, so that you have to have the right display technology for that to even matter. So anyways, I don't know. If you like dark mode, now you have the option. At the end of the day, isn't it nice to have options?
Yes,
No,
it is.
that's-
It is.
Options are good.
All right. I'm happy we got
interlude.
I'm happy we got the most important story out of the way at the very top.
I was going to ask about that because I saw it. And Jeff, did you send it to us or did I just see it? And think of
I
it?
actually emailed it.
You did send it. Okay.
Little background. I was so victorious, I emailed it to the team during the week.
You're like, booyah!
I saw that and I just said, bless his heart.
Oh, see, there you go. That is the true Southern passive aggressive right there. Thank you.
Totally.
Bless his
His little heart.
Oh, bless his little heart. That Jeff. That's funny. All right. So where do we even go from dark mode?
From there, that's the highlight of the show, clearly already.
All right, cool. Well, we started on top.
That's it. It's
Now
over.
it's time to descend into...
We want to talk about net neutrality?
Okay.
No, we want to talk about Google.
Yeah. Let's talk about Google a little bit. And we've got
We'll
things...
do Google and then we'll go for...
Yeah, then we'll spread out and spread our wings into
In that way we
Amazon.
do.
Because I know we're going to talk about Amazon a little bit. Because Stacey, that event was after last week's Twig. So
Yeah, I missed Twig because I was at Amazon's event, you guys.
you were there. So,
Wait a second. All right. Well, I'm going to remember I have a question for you, Stacey, when we get to it. Yes.
all right. What about this whole DNS over HTTPS thing in Chrome? Wall Street Journal has a report that reveals the House Judiciary Committee is investigating Google for its
Can you
plan
guys explain this to us?
implement DNS encryption within the Chrome browser. And ISPs are complaining about this. Basically, from what I gather, Google wants to make things safer and more secure and more private for users of Chrome. And so baking in encryption, DNS encryption within the Chrome browser would allow them to do that. But ISPs are realizing, hey, when you do that, we can no longer see the activity of users using the browser, and therefore we cannot do the things that we want to do with all of that data to make money on our end, and that's not okay.
Can I ask a dumb question? Which is my stock and trade?
Yeah, I might not even have an answer for it. What is it?
Well, so DNS resolves a name to an address. Once I go to that IP address, that can't be encrypted from the ISP because they got to take me to that address, right?
So this is saying that your DNS resolver, which can be operated by your ISP or you can go through another service.
Right.
That's what they're saying. They want to make that encrypted and they want to make that a standard. So if you do something,
Stacey, I'm done.
Yes.
Go slow here.
Okay.
Well, just go slow. What part of that transaction is encrypted?
Right now, nothing.
Right, but if Google gets its way.
If Google gets its way, what will happen? Okay, here we go. I'm pulling up the site just so I can make sure I don't do this wrong.
Brace yourselves.
Hold on to the table.
Okay.
We're all counting on you, Stacey.
Okay. Okay, this is DNS. So DNS, the process of looking up the IP address when you type the site's name in, right?
So I typed in
the name of the site.
StaceyOnIoT.com into
There's
my
this
browser.
magical long number that happens. The DNS is the lookup to match that name, Stacey on IT, to that number to send you to that place. What they want to do is they want to route that over HTTPS, which is the current secure protocol that we route everything over. And Google, was it 2 or 3 years ago that they were made HTTPS
default
requirement? Yes, about 2 years
requirement. Ago. So they want to do this for doing DNS lookups over that, so people can't eavesdrop during that transaction where they're looking this up. And they're going to block, and they're going to do that by encrypting your DNS requests using the existing.
Okay, so because that's an external communication to somebody else's DNS. I use 1.1.1.1. It goes over there, so they want to encrypt that so that nobody can snoop on that. However, once I get back the number, it's 123.4.5.5.6. Then the ISP knows where I'm going. So how is the ISP left out of any data other than the name of the server, which they could probably reverse resolve?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but your ISP, your ISP still, I see what you're asking.
Stump to Stacey.
No, you're right. I'm like, okay, here's why my brain. If you're
That's what
not
I can't
using your
figure out about this
ISP's
story.
DNS,
Chat
I'm like,
room,
because I don't use it, so they shouldn't ever see it, right?
Well, but they're always going to see the IP number of where I go because they have to route me to it.
Right.
No, because the DNS service is routing you to it. You're doing all of that.
You're
doing all
goes
of
through
that
the DNS
outside
each
of
time.
Yes, like if you're using 1.1.1. However many ones, or Google's,
right?
They're doing the resolution, not your ISP. Your ISP
But every
is just
time
sitting, all those packets are being encrypted, so your ISP just sees the encrypted packets. They go up to the DNS resolver.
Even
the resolver,
the IP number. So I open a page. I open Stacey on IoT and it's a compact designed, wonderful page. So there's 10 server calls for that one web page. Each of those calls is then the ISP is blind to each call.
I believe so. Okay.
Wow.
Let me keep reading. Now I'm looking at other options.
Yeah, and I'm reading through this Ars Technica article by Timothy B. Lee, Why Big ISPs Aren't Happy About Google's Plans for Encrypted DNS. And it says, it says in here, ISPs could still see which IP address a customer had accessed, which would give them some of this information, which can be an effective way to detect malware infections, for example. But this is a cruder way to monitor internet traffic. Multiple domains could share a single IP address. Domains can change IP addresses over time, so they'd wind up with reduced visibility of their customers' browsing habits, which...
So the next question becomes, why does your ISP need to know this in any case?
Well, that's a great question.
Which is why most people
ad
try
targeting,
to run VPNs now.
Monitoring for
your
copyright
ISP
infringement.
Wants this, they do it just, they used to, remember how they used to do DNS takeovers? Do you guys remember that? Let's see, I'm trying to remember. Frontier used to do it, and some other small ISP used to do it.
Yep.
If you type in a URL slightly wrong, you would get like an ad from your ISP.
Yes.
Oh, that's
They do
right.
it because they want to have this information. And I should say, in the chat room, someone just explained that the DNS server does not do the resolution. So I'm sorry on that one. The DNS server does not route the packets I sent to the website. Yes. So my bad.
So given the choice of trusting my ISP or Google, hey, I'm on this week in Google.
But this is DNS over HTTPS. This isn't just a Google thing.
But it's the fight. Google's trying to do something that the ISP is fighting. Whom do I trust in that fight?
Oh, always trust Google over the ISPs if they're fighting.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's a good rule of thumb.
And Google has also said it has no plans to centralize or change. Go away, Google. To centralize or change people's DNS providers to Google by default. Also, so there have been people some that have wondered or questions Google's intent to move them over to Google for their DNS provider.
Well, this is another interesting question here. So I see PC Guy 8088. I love saying 8088. I have for years. Says ask if ISPs could block access over the UK because they have a list of sites that are blocked. In nations that are blocked, does this get away? Does this get around things like Chinese censorship?
Oh, good question.
That is a good question. I do not know.
Yeah.
I'm nothing but questions today, people. Nothing but
That's
questions.
Okay.
No answers.
I would also tell you, Jeff, that Mozilla and I always do this wrong, EFF and Mozilla are also in favor of doing this.
Right.
So even if you don't trust Google, I'm guessing you
sure
probably
trust Mozilla.
Okay.
Yeah. And someone in chat, the name just blew past me here, but made the good point that this isn't necessarily about Google, except for the fact that Chrome is so popular. And so if Chrome does this, then it kind of is, in many people's view, about Google because they make this switch that's going to affect so many users.
Does Firefox has already done this?
I believe that they do this, yes.
Oh, yes, they do. Look at this, Retcon 5.
Thank you, Retcon 5, with the on-point answer right at the moment.
He is giving us so there you
screen for screen.
Ooh. the twit brain just comes together at one time. It's so impressive.
Really, why are we here? That's the question.
Retcon 5 is at 0 latency right now with us. It's right there. She is right there.
And see, here's someone
brain
saying
latency.
Yes.
this does not get around the Great Firewall, which would make sense because that's pretty non-porous.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody, including Retcon 5.
I think we all learned a little something with that.
Use your
I'm
VPN.
sorry, I was not prepared for this. I did read a lot about net neutrality, though, you guys.
But I do think it's a new game. Stump the Stacey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a terrible game because this sorts of things.
I love
really,
that because Stacey knows everything.
No, I don't know anything, and it's so sad.
We weren't able to stump her this time. Dang it. We're going to have to work really
y'all
hard.
did. I could not answer off the top of my head.
It's okay.
If you stump the Stacey, you get free warm bread, warm cake.
Warm cake.
Free warm cake.
Oh, man, you guys. Okay. Storyville Coffee. They have it in Seattle and in Bainbridge. It's random. It's so good.
Stacey is the sacrifice Stacey's making, people, for those of you who came in with the actual show, is that she could be in a coffee shop right now getting free warm cake, but instead she sacrificed, she's here with you.
With us.
It's warm chocolate cake.
Oh.
And the icing is still like not totally melty, but sort of melty. And there's a little hint of coffee in there. It's so good.
Dang.
Oh, so sad for Stacey.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sad.
I like you guys a lot.
I'm sad
I'd
for all of
rather-
us, to be honest.
I'd rather be talking about DNS encryption, you guys. than
If we're talking about DNS encryption, we would really, we would really prefer not to do it without you, to be honest. It's made much better having you here. What about translation at the border? Lots of fun stories today. ProPublica report shows how U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has been using and relying in many ways on Google Translate to scan refugees' social media posts to determine whether they should be allowed in the country. So Google provides this app. What is going on? I'm not even saying the word. My phone keeps waking up. Google provides this.
We can't use the word Google
apparently
on the show called This Week in Google.
Apparently. It's going to happen like 5 more times, I'm convinced. This app is not meant for this, right?
No.
I'll just say that, right? Like, probably you should not use this. One should not use this app to determine people's livelihoods or, the ability for them to be safe or, it just seems like the wrong application of this particular
If you
tool.
think that facial recognition has problems, Google Translate has problems.
It does.
It's come a long
Rest
way.
on the basis of Google Translate.
It did help me in
great.
Shanghai, but still, it could still use some work.
Yeah,
It's just
you don't
gonna
want to
take
get
some
arrested
time.
on its basis.
Well, I just got a press release, or it wasn't a press release. It was a story in a Chinese newspaper. So it was written in Mandarin, and I Google translated it. And it was all about Jeff Immelt, the former CEO of GE, joining the board of a company called Graffiti Intelligence. And I was looking at this because someone sent it to me, and they were talking about Tuya, which is a smart home IoT company. And I'm like, I don't see Tuya anywhere in here. So I sent an email out to the Tuya people, and I'm like, what is going on? And they're like, oh, this is a Google Translatism. Tuya means graffiti in Chinese. So Tuya Smart became Graffiti Intelligence as the name of the company.
Oh.
And I had spent like a good 45 minutes trying to I'm like, I don't see the relationship that this person is telling me is here. What is this Graffiti Intelligence? So again, as a journalist, even I don't trust it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of lost nuance in the tool.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a wonderful, brilliant thing. But
totally, it's come a long way. But they actually had a demonstration in this article in Urdu. I think that's the name of the language. Urdu, Urdu. Post would correctly translate by if a human translator took a stab at it. It would say, "I have been spanked a lot and have also gathered a lot of love," in parentheses, from my parents. Google Translate's version came out to, "The beating is too big and the love is too windy." So there's nuance that is definitely lost in translation. And, it also kind of smacks of, we talked about this a little bit last week on Tech News Weekly with Micah. This was one of his stories of the week. And for me, it just kind of smacks of using a tool that might not be perfect for the job, but for some of the folks who are using this tool,
Right.
that's actually a really convenient fact that it doesn't do a good job of the translation because it creates more uncertainty, which could result in making it much easier to say, no, you can't come into the country.
Judgment.
And let's just say some people, that is priority number one. So
not just poor judgment, but incorrect judgment.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. Incorrect. So
we're at the chaos administration. Something like this helps contribute
totally.
to that. So,
totally. And I mean, the manual for the service for the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services reads, the most efficient approach to translate foreign language contents is to utilize one of the many free online language translation services provided by Google, Yahoo, Bing, and other search engines. And it's just such a critical application, like our critical need being translation to rely on these free services.
Who gets mistranslated tries to explain their language is not going to be able. It's a cluster.
It's baffling to me that we have people, and granted, there are plenty of languages that are way more esoteric, but probably the top 10 languages, I feel like we should have people who are multilingual. I mean, that doesn't seem tough.
Should. It's just definitely uncommon here. I know in my travels, it blew my mind when I went somewhere and people could speak English as well as I do, attempt to speak English as well.
Or
as
sometimes better.
Right, or better. And I'm like,
I'm
you
always
didn't even grow up where I grew up. So how are you able to just grab all of these extra languages and it's no big deal? But here in the U.S., it's like,
you go to a hotel
bilingual,
clerk,
what?
And they speak 4 languages. And you think in the U.S.
you're lucky to get two tops,
Yeah. I speak one. I would say I speak 1.1 languages.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Mein Deutsch ist leider sehr schlecht.
Yeah, you've got some choice phrases that I know I've heard on the show many times.
Leistungsschutzrecht.
There we go.
Gutenberg is just someone's name, though, Jason.
Good enough. Good enough for me. Let's see here. New European copyright law is going to stop Google from showing news snippets to French
This is a big
users.
This is a big deal.
Only showing headlines, not the first few lines from the story or even a thumbnail image. Although publications can request to show those previews if they prefer. European publishers can do that. France is the first to implement the copyright reforms. Other countries have around a year to implement them. So this is like the beginning of.
So funny, I should mention the Leistungsschutzrecht.
Yes.
Because this is a continuation of that. Leistungsschutzrecht, ancillary copyrights, tried to stop Google from showing snippets unless they paid. Google said F you. Publishers said F you back. They went a week without Google. They said, oh, never mind. You can show our stuff.
Right.
Then it went to Spain where there was a link tax. There was no choice in the matter. Google had to negotiate payment. Google said, no, we're not doing that. Google's news left Spain. Then it became part of the infamous Articles 11 and 13, which later became Articles 15 and 17, don't ask me how, I don't know, of the European Copyright Directive, an effort to have a copyright reform so there's one regime across Europe. The publishers lobbied for this. They won. It's a snippet law, and Google cannot put up content, cannot put up snippets unless they have negotiated the license. And Google's saying, we're not going to do that. We're never going to do that. We don't pay for content. We don't get paid either. This is not the way we do it. We're not doing it. And Richard Gingras, who's the head of Google News, went to France to make clear to everybody this was the case. And so we'll put your link in, but we won't put the snippet in, and you're not going to get any traffic out of it because nobody's going to know if it's worth clicking on. But hey, you asked for it.
Right.
You can say yes, as Jason just said. You can say no, put us up. But that's the only condition on which is going to happen. And this is going to happen across all of Europe. It's going to hurt publishers terribly. I've been in rooms I was at Google Newsgeist in Athens, in Europe, about 2 months ago. Journalists in the room, in a big room, in one of the sessions that I caused, were complaining mightily about this, saying it's going to kill them. And I said, blame your bosses.
Right.
How
long do you think we'll see this eventually get turned around? Is this something that could be turned around within a quarter? Is it going to take a year of going through?
Oh, I think every time it's happened, a good question, Nat. I think when it originally happened in Belgium, where there was an effort to do this earlier than the Leistungsschutzrecht, which I love saying. And the Belgian publishers turned right around. The German publishers turned around. The Spanish publishers have lost traffic forever. I think that most publishers in France will turn around in a week or two and say, "Okay, Google, Uncle, put up our content."
Okay.
I'm surprised my phone didn't go off right then.
Yeah, I just realized mine did.
Somehow my phone missed it. Somebody out there, they got it. All right. So a couple of weeks before the publishers themselves say, yes, okay, make this happen because we've already seen stuff, traffic tank. And I mean, I can't recall if you mentioned this, but Spain, Germany, they had tried this years ago, taking the snippets out of the news articles. And ultimately, they had to, it completely backfired. So,
well, in fact, part of the argument in Germany around the Leistungsschutzrecht.
We'll see how many times.
What does that word mean? What
it's a drinking game at this point.
It's translated as ancillary copyright.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Leistung. Okay, Google. Translate Leistung from Germany to English. Power. Leistungsschutz. I don't know, Stacey.
Sorry, I was like, I love how Germans have these phrases. So
you got me back. That was Stump the Jeff.
Sorry.
You get free warm cake.
Don't say that if you can't follow through.
Yeah.
What was the question?
That's a good question. I can't remember. I was distracted by cake.
All right, never mind.
Yeah. So, all right. I don't know where to go from there.
Copyright. Copyright, where do we go?
Yes, I know. Now I'm just thinking about cake. I've got this warm cake repeating in my brain.
We could talk about jackets.
Yeah. So I know that a couple of weeks ago, you guys talked a little bit about the Yves Saint Laurent backpack strap that has Project Jacquard.
There's actually a whole backpack. Embedded. It's not just the strap.
That's true. The whole backpack exists, and then the strap has Project Jacquard in it for touch sensitivity, control of your phone, that sort of stuff. Now we've got a jacket, which is not the first jacket that we've seen with this. In fact, the first product was a couple of years ago. It was a Levi's Courier jacket. So this is the backpack from a couple of weeks ago. And now Levi is about to sell anyways, a couple of new denim jackets with a smaller Jacquard tag than before. And the tag is the electrical kind of pod that actually does the transmission via Bluetooth, and it has to live somewhere in the jacket. So I think they're putting it in the sleeve. It's a smaller profile. So in 2 years, they've reduced the size of that. A trucker and Sherpa trucker jackets for men and women, $198 to $248, which, I mean, I think jean jackets are kind of in that price range, right?
Well, no, the Levi's jackets, like a straight up Levi's trucker, is usually around 85. If you do the Sherpa, though, it's going to be much more.
Okay.
Like they're sub 100.
Okay,
really?
so
I thought they were over $100. I thought.
The truckers? I feel like I just was in the market for one. I mean, that was a lady's jacket, but yeah, I'm seeing them for $98 to $70. Nordstrom's has it for $98, so that's as expensive as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly out of touch on that.
So, smart jacket.
And it was their commuter jacket
Still happy.
for people who care about jackets, which I actually do care about.
Right. Well, so the first one that they did was it the commuter jacket or the Courier?
It's their commuter jacket.
Their commuter jacket, okay. And that was, if I remember correctly, Google really, when they first announced this, it was for, bike couriers was kind of what they promoted.
Who can afford this? Yeah.
Right. Like that when you're riding, you don't want to look at your phone, so you can slide your hand. I'm
surprised we haven't seen the Jacquard hoodie, given where it comes from.
Yeah.
Google?
The land of hoodies. Land of
Silicon Valley. I was like,
no, you're right. I was a little late on that one, but you're absolutely right. They need to have some hoodies out there. All of Silicon Valley, it would probably become a status symbol.
As you have your
where
hoodie
I
on
want
at
the
the moment.
Jacquard?
Where?
I want it in my couch. I actually want the little thing in my arm of my couch or my recliner, because then that
new
fabric
remote control
becomes my new remote control. Yes, that would be
very cool. That's cool.
I like that. And the back of your couch would have a little plug for you to plug it into the power supply.
You wouldn't need it.
So
I mean, I don't
modern.
think you need a plug for this. You'd have the little, I guess it's the battery part that connects to it, but you wouldn't need a plug. You could just replace it or charge it.
Charge up the little battery thing. Yeah.
You're right. I'm going to want that charged. Never mind.
Yeah, would you ever? I mean, if
charged.
your couch is just always going to be there, you might as well just have it plugged in and out of the way.
Yeah,
you
you're
might as well
right.
have your couch plugged in.
I'm old enough to remember when they had these things that you could buy for the couch to put over the arm with two pockets, one for the clicker, as we called it, we old people,
yes.
and one for the TV guide.
Yes.
Oh, you can still buy those to put on your bed. If your bedside table, you stick it underneath your mattress, and then you have this little pocket. They still sell those, Jeff.
For your
by the way.
phone?
It's for whatever you want to stick in the pocket.
Oh, okay.
And do
This
they
was
still
specially made,
sell?
so
That was for beer and whiskey.
Do they still sell TV Guide?
It's bigger now.
Okay.
In print?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a full-size magazine now.
Yeah.
Ooh, fancy.
Wow. Moving on
In
up.
my day,
Yeah. It was tiny. It was
was a
tiny.
little-
It was like a little journal size thing.
because
Yeah, we're all like-
as it sometimes says on my lower third, former TV guide critic,
Tell me you've got at least one copy of the TV Guide framed in your house.
oh yeah.
You
Oh, yeah.
have to.
The first, I was promoted on the cover for my first issue. There was a Roseanne cover as Lucille Ball, and then there was a little thing, meet our new TV critic.
Nice.
Wow. Yes.
Oh, wow. You and Roseanne sharing space. Wow, that never.
Wow.
Well,
The
we
6
don't do
degrees
anymore.
of Jeff and Roseanne.
As
solved
she
it.
blocks me on Twitter because it's fine.
You should
I want to be
take a
blocked.
picture of the
Yeah,
cover
right.
and be like, see, we've got a lot in
Hey,
common.
new? Yeah.
You should know. Let's take a break and thank the sponsor, and then we can come back and talk about a whole lot more. We've got a bunch of stuff that we have not even touched yet. A whole doc full of stories that we're going to get to. But first, this episode of This Week in Google is brought to you by Monday.com. Monday.com not only helps teams manage work and meet deadlines, but also builds a culture of transparency to work better together so you can manage all of your core business activities in one place. Things like high-level roadmaps, all the way down to specific day-to-day tasks. It just makes managing all of that stuff a breeze. You can join over 65,000 teams already getting things done with Monday.com. Monday.com, it's easy to use. You can build a board from scratch and choose from a selection of templates if you want to just start there and then trim it back or tailor it to your team's workflow. You can automate your own workflows with reminders and notifications to keep you on task, keep all of you on task. You can upload files directly from your computer, Dropbox, or Google Drive. Monday.com is perfect for any team, so that means any size, from, let's say, 2 freelancers who happen to be working together to thousands collaborating across the globe. Monday.com is perfect either way and everything in between. It's popular among teams, often replacing all those things that can be pretty burdensome in day-to-day use. Excel files, whiteboards, excessively long meetings. You know what I'm talking about. Monday.com keeps you on track. It creates accountability by assigning owners to keep track of who's doing what, so you'll never miss a deadline with things like My Week, which is a personal assistant for you and your team. And you can stay in control anywhere you go with the Monday.com mobile app. The mobile app is easy to use, easy to jump in and manage these tasks. Take a look at them. I love a well-designed app, and I definitely feel like they have it nailed. Monday.com app is worth working with, and you start to realize it kind of opens up the field of opportunity for how you can customize it around your workflow and jump right in, do the things you need, and move on. You can learn more and start your 14-day free trial by going to monday.com/twig. That's monday.com/TWIG, and you'll get a free 2-week trial. And we thank Monday.com for their support of this show.
Wait.
Yeah,
I just put up the second link I put up in the chat. Stacey, I know you're going to order this tonight immediately for your decor at home. I know you're going to want this.
Oh,
That is a link.
where is it?
Holy cow.
Man.
It's the second link. I know
Okay.
it's Amazon.
That link is like a
Second
paragraph.
paragraph.
Half a page.
Wait, where is it? Which chat am I
In the
supposed to
chat
be in?
on the rundown.
The doc
rundown
chat.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
I should have put it in
Okay,
the chat
so
chat. Sorry.
John,
There, I put it in the chat.
There we go. That is beautiful. That is gorgeous. And only $20 is the Sanli chair cover, which has a TV remote control holder, armrest organizer, sofa chair protector with 5-pocket armchair caddy.
Put your laptop in there.
We used to just use plastic and some egg crates.
It's water resistant, which means I bet it's queso resistant.
Queso resistant, yes.
And it comes in gray. Perfect.
You got a place for your sunglasses for when you're sitting in your chair and you need to put your sunglasses on. It's perfect for ants.
The sunglasses don't come off.
Well, it's for your normal glasses if you need to switch to those.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
No, he's too vain to wear those.
That's why they're in the chair pocket.
Man.
I don't think a vain person has one of these chair cover things either.
No, you're probably right. Wow, that thing, especially not in the coffee color. Like I could maybe understand the gray.
Gray is quite sophisticated.
The beige is looking pretty as well.
That thing is $20 too expensive.
Actually, there's a coupon to save an extra 10%, so
it's not enough.
We can knock a couple of dollars off that price for you. What's it going to take to get you into one of these things, Ann?
So we always get Leo to buy things on the show. I think you should buy this.
Anesthesia. Yes, exactly. You could review it on Hands on Tech.
That would be no.
I mean, it's kind of technology. It holds technology.
You know what you could do? You could put Google needs to make a Jacquard version of one of these.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
Okay. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Yes. See, that's the whole thing.
Oh, and then it's like a retrofit for my furniture.
Yeah.
I like it.
You could think of yourself as Captain Kirk.
I do think of myself as Captain Kirk often, actually.
Not touching that.
Perfect. It's a match made in heaven. I love it.
Back to normal programming.
So funny.
I didn't know that existed until just now, and now I'm frightened. I know the last time I was on, we talked about Google Pixel 4 leaks because, man, we've known
you
everything.
are the god of Android.
We've known everything about this phone for so long now that I kind of feel like showing new renders of the phone, it really doesn't matter anymore. We know exactly what it looks like. We know exactly what it offers. But what has happened over the course of the last week is, and especially 9 to 5 Google, I feel like is leading the charge. They are, and then XDA have posted a number of exclusives being pulled from these Pixel 4s, which maybe I should actually start with the fact that somebody is selling Pixel 4 demo units for $1,200. So if anyone wants to get into the pre-release, pre-announcement Pixel 4 leak game
for a mere $1,200,
for a mere $1,200, you can go and buy from online shady sellers. I'm assuming a lot of the other people that have leaks, is that what they did?
No, Google put out a lot of stuff, and then they released a lot of stuff in their code. But then I guess maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, all the people that have the actual device and have been showing it off, I'm really fascinated to know how that happened,
right?
Or how it continues to happen.
Again,
is it Google
I still say marketing 201 at Cal State Fullerton or wherever university you are. That's just Google marketing. I still believe that. I don't believe in the whole supply chain leak. This is Google just...
Oh, no, the supply chain totally can leak. And you can see it when you talk to different companies. Like if I talk to a chip supplier, if you mention Apple, they nothing.
They get quiet.
But if you talk about other companies, they'll talk about all kinds of crazy features coming out. So there is very much a fear of God component to some of these things. And Google probably just doesn't have and they don't have the market share either. I mean, if you're canceled from the Pixel 4, it's not like it's going to sell.
All the reason why I believe Google's pushing it out themselves. They don't have the market share. Just push it on out and embrace these leaks, if you will, which is what they've done for the last couple months.
They've gotten tons of free publicity, Ant. You're right. In a way, they get more than 1 day's publicity.
Yeah.
They've gotten 3 weeks of everything you want to know about it.
Right.
That's not so dumb.
All right. So by the time the announcement happens, though, we will have been hearing about this phone and seeing official press images from Google. Like a couple of months ago, we saw the official, that's it. And they posted the back of the phone. So we will have already known about this phone for 3 solid months.
The keynote's going to be about 10 minutes long.
it actually happens. The keynote's probably going to be the same length it always is. So it's like, never mind the fact that you know everything. Here's everything again.
Give everyone bingo cards. That's what we need to make before the 15th, right?
Oh.
Let's do it, man.
I like it. So
does it have a headphone
bingo.
jack or no?
No. Oh, heck no. They'll save that for the A version if and when there is a 4A. At least that's what they did with the 3A. They kept the headphone jack on there. No headphone jack as far as I've seen in anything. I think that's pretty certain that that's not going to be there. What we're seeing from 9 to 5 Google, though, are a number of leaks around kind of some of the software features that we're going to expect to find. A Pixel Themes app, which actually the APK, so someone who had this pre-release phone has gone in there and ripped out a bunch of APKs and published them online, so you can actually use them in advance of the Pixel 4. So the Pixel Themes app is embedded and integrated into the wallpaper. When you tap and hold on the screen, it gives you the wallpaper section. And then in there is a styles, like a theming section. Actually, I forgot. I installed it so I could actually show you.
He's such a rogue.
I forgot to even set that up, but
you're such a rogue, Mr. Howell.
Yeah, my apologies. Showed this. I expected it not to work last night on the show, and then for whatever reason, it ended up working. So styles and wallpapers. If I go in there, and down at the bottom, you can see the little style button. And when I go over there, you can then go in here and theme just a bunch of different aspects of the OS.
Looks like dark mode to me.
Yeah, it does look like dark mode, doesn't it? I probably have it on right now, Jeff.
He's saving his battery.
I probably have it on right now.
You're going to get an extra 30 seconds of time today.
Ooh, sans serif? Serif.
Yeah.
I like that.
XDA, we had Michel Rahman on last night, editor-in-chief of XDA, and he was saying that when this hits officially, there's going to be more options than just 2 fonts.
I like serif. That's cool. Yeah, that's nice. The hell with Helvetica.
And there will be more icon options. Right now, it doesn't really give me much.
Right. So you hate serifs too, huh, Stacey? Huh?
I'm now just going to be in opposition on all of these insignificant things. I'm just going to be like, yes, I am pro Helvetica. Take your Times New Roman and shove
whatever
it.
the opposite of what he just said
Helvetica, Stacey.
So
my font got a documentary. What'd your font get?
Yeah, right. Nothing
Go
yet.
To Helvetica.
And if there is no documentary for that font, that's opportunity right there. I think you should be the one to make it happen. So we're going to see theming. Another thing that just posted right before showtime were a bunch of videos that I'm not really quite sure what the backstory is, but leaked videos from Google as far as what the new Google Assistant on the Pixel 4 is going to be. Mm-hmm. We saw a little bit of it at Google I/O, how, if you remember, the woman went on stage and just did this constant stream of actions, talking to the phone, and it was doing all these things and blooping and blipping all around, and with no pausing to wait for it to catch up or whatever. And it was definitely a big moment.
Yeah, but what happens when it's thousands of people making that request?
Well, no. That's the beauty of it. It's all on device.
It's
so
on
it doesn't
device.
matter.
Okay. All right.
And that's part of kind of what they were saying months ago, is that the next Pixel phone will be capable of doing that. So I'm wondering if some of the hardware in there, they've shrunk down the data set to allow for it to be stored on the device. Maybe the hardware makes some of this stuff even faster, zero latency, that sort of stuff.
But is this enough to get those Samsung customers? Is this enough?
I'm not sure.
What can Google do?
What do you have there, Jeff? What am I looking at?
A Caslon type specimen.
A type
serifs. I have this hanging in my office. I love serifs, Stacey.
We're
Take that. Do you have a framed font picture in your office, Stacey?
I'm looking around. No, I don't.
You might have a documentary, but do you have a font set framed? No.
That's Stacey 1, Jeff 2.
Yeah.
That's true. I have oh no, that's from the Spy Museum, not the Newseum. I was like, I have a picture of a poster with a sans serif font, but
sort of. Yeah, that's a half point, I'd say. Yeah, half point there.
Okay. Yeah. I do
So not right.
I don't know why, but I'm feeling very impish tonight.
You are punchy. I'm enjoying the punchy Jeff.
I am too.
I don't know if we've talked. Well, I'm pretty sure we didn't talk about that because I actually was paying attention. But did you guys see the leak about voice transcription on the Pixel 4? Because I was like, I would like that now, please.
Oh no!
Which is
yes, I did
latest
see
Pixel.
that mentioned.
Yeah, it automatically transcribes your voice memos and turns them into
that's part of the
searchable
announcement.
content.
Isn't that already on 10? Android 10?
So you're talking about the recorder app, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the native app. Is that
I'll go
the
ahead
one?
and show it. This is my tool for the week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's actually really, it is actually really cool. So this was one of the APKs that was leaked from the Pixel 4. It's called Recorder, and it is a voice recorder. When you hit the record, it starts recording. You can see up there it's detected what I'm saying as speech, right? That's the waveform for it. As I showed last night on the show, if I whistle, it picks up whistling. It's able to determine different types of audio, and there's like a list of things that it can actually determine. I think even like
And bark like a dog. Let's see what it does. Oh, clapping is also
no,
nice.
clapping is not. Yeah, apparently clapping doesn't work. What about barking like a dog?
Okay.
Oh no, that's laughter.
It picked up
Okay, it picked up laughter. Okay, it doesn't pick up fake laughter.
I love it.
But anyways, I can go over to transcripts, and everything that I've said has been turned into text, and it's doing it in real time because, again, this is all happening on device.
On device and not in the cloud.
Not in the cloud, which is just unbelievable. So if I stop this,
That is
go ahead
brilliant.
and save that. I could add tags and stuff like that. And then if I go up to it, everything that I have is saved here, which allows me to, let's see, let me pick out a word, laughter. So I'll go ahead and search. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were up close. Laugh. Let's see here. Laughter. And then if I search that, it takes me to the point in the audio that laughter was spoken.
Oh!
Wow.
No, that's laughter. Okay.
Oh, what this
That
does for
is
reporters?
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yes.
Lord.
Awesome.
Totally. It's actually really cool.
That's why I was reading about this and I'm like, oh crap, I should have bought the 4. Now my daughter's going to get the 3A. Sorry.
Will it only be in the 4?
There.
Because it needs the processing power of the 4. Huh?
Well, I don't know. I'm running it on my 3XL, and it seems to work pretty well. So I'm going to say no. I mean, I don't know if Google is going to intend for it to only be on the 4.
Right.
But the APK is
If it's out there in the wild,
extracted.
I'd go get it.
Yeah.
I'd go get it.
Yeah, now I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you can go to apkmirror.com. That's the site that is owned and operated by the folks at Android Police, so you can trust it. And they have the APK posted there for you to download. And as it gets updated, they will refresh it there as well. But that's where I got it.
I'd like to see this in the wild with like at CES. We have all of this extra ambient noise, and you have the noise canceling mics on there. But I just want to test it out and see how well it does. And because this a lot of times you're recording your person you're interviewing or whatever, and you have to write it out. And sometimes the recording sounds bad, and you're trying to remember what exactly did they say. You think they said. I'm curious to see how that transcribes.
How many people do you have in the studio?
Wait, you don't take physical notes?
I do sometimes, not all the time, but I do.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading over my transcript here, and it might not be perfect, but it's pretty darn close. You know what I mean?
That's impressive.
Google has come so far with this stuff. It's really unbelievable.
But yeah,
Now,
I'd like
wait,
to see
can
how
it translate
cancel
it
out.
back into another language, though?
Not that I could tell. Still don't use this at the border.
No.
For clearing people coming into the country.
I'd like to use it for recording podcasts remotely. Just another video audio recorder.
Yeah. Right. And then you can kind of search in if you need to find out what the time code is for that particular edit or whatever. Jump to it. Yeah, pretty neat stuff. And then you can also upload to Google Drive if you tap and hold it, share it to your drive. Yeah.
Gotta have that Drive integration.
Yep. Of course. Yeah. Big surprise. Welcome to Google. Another cool feature coming to Pixel phones will be emergency detection for when you might have been in a car crash.
That's great.
So the emergency information app is going to update to the personal safety app, and car crash detection, essentially it's going to be running if it detects, based on your sensors and your accelerometer readings and all that kind of stuff. If it detects that you have most likely been involved in a car crash, it will give you the opportunity to call 911.
It's hard to imagine how it would know that versus a fast stop.
So I'm going to let you, Uber also is doing this. It has a feature called Ride Check, and it uses your GPS, accelerometer, gyroscope, and stuff in your phone for the same thing. It's called Ride Check. So I expect to see this on lots of things coming up. And it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Although if you've got two people in the car running this, is each phone going to call 911, or how are we going to reconcile things like that? Is one of the, and if you think about it, my phone already asks, if I'm trying to play something from Spotify and I'm in a car, it's like, are you in the car? And it'll switch to auto mode.
Right.
And then I'm like, I'm not driving. Please let me control it the way I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder what the threshold is, though, because just like you said, if you're in traffic somewhere, you have sudden stops, but not necessarily an impact.
So this is, they're using machine learning. So my hunch is they have enough actual impact data that they can differentiate between what happens at a pretty granular level. And I imagine sometimes they're going to be wrong.
Right.
Uber's only gives you I think it just gives you the option to call 911. It says you get a notification will pop up and be like, hey, are you all right?
Yes. And that's what you get here. Essentially, it would sound a tone at the loudest volume and then asks if you need help in that moment. Do you need help? And you could then, say, yes, I need help, or call 911 or whatever, and then it would do it for you.
If you say nothing, what happens?
That's a great question. Yeah. I actually don't know the answer to that. It might be in the article and I missed it. But that's important.
I'm waiting for the story where someone gets a heart attack. Nothing happened, but the sirens come rushing to them. That's what gives them a heart attack, and they die.
If no response is provided, the Pixel will proceed to automatically dial 911 and share your location.
See?
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
That's so. I will tell you, my mom, when I was a very young child, had an ectopic pregnancy while she was driving to work, and that means that it's in the wrong space in your body, and it just explodes. And you bleed to death internally, basically. Whoa. And she was driving a car and she was losing blood and she passed out and ran into a guardrail. And it was 5 a.m. So someone did see and call because she lives in Houston. But if it was early enough that it's possible that my mom could have bled to death. So something like this is actually kind of awesome.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
And there was news, Google published news. God, I can't remember when this was, probably a month or a month and a half ago. Something about calling emergency services without using your voice, because, and if I remember correctly, it had something to do with if you're in a situation where you can't speak but you still need help, you'd be able to use your phone to call and summon emergency services.
I want to say
maybe that would be baked into
something to leak towards if people were being held up. Or,
right.
I do remember seeing that.
That's exactly it. Yeah. So I wonder if that's going to be, kind of rolled into this as well. Another feature of this is quick sharing of emergency status with select contacts. So like you were saying, if you made no response, calls 911, but then it also pings whatever contacts you've identified as emergency contacts to let them know. And of course, Google has all the back end stuff to make phone calls for us now. Yep. So I'm sure it's probably really good at notifying, in that instance as well.
And it could possibly get through Do Not Disturbs too. In that situation, I wouldn't want to have to call someone 3 times to be like, hi, I'm dying in a car accident.
Oh, right.
That would be really interesting, because right now we have so much infrastructure set up around, not reaching people during certain times.
Oh, yeah. Although I know on my Do Not Disturb, I have it set to allow starred contacts.
Certain contacts, okay.
And I wonder if Google would go so far as to override the Do Not Disturb settings on someone's phone if they were, marked as a.
I think if you're going to call 911, you might as well.
Yeah. I mean, I
that's
agree.
a pretty big call right there.
No, I completely agree. But that would supersede someone's specific instruction to say only let calls through on Do Not Disturb in this particular scenario.
Right.
So maybe there should be a setting in there or something to allow them to opt in, I suppose. But I completely agree. In case of an emergency, they're probably going to want to know. So there you go. But anyways, I love this feature. I think it's and especially
for one,
because
welcome my new master. They're going to save lives.
Absolutely. And I mean, these are features that, you find in like OnStar, that sort of stuff, and that requires a monthly fee. So
it does. Yeah.
This is something very similar to that and just kind of baked into Pixel phones. So another feature of having a Pixel, I guess.
And, if there's too many false positives, you could see something happen. Like a lot of municipalities, for example, only give you like 2 or 3 free responses to like emergency things.
Right.
So like if ADT calls, if it's a false positive and they send out the police, they'll start charging you after a certain point in time. So I guess we could see something like this if there's a lot of false positives. I'm pretty sure Google's probably pretty good at figuring this out, though.
Yeah. And then finally, if you've been waiting for the day that Google would update its Pixel Buds, apparently.
Well, actually, I was thinking about getting some buds, and I went to Best Buy. And then I said, "No, Jeff, hold on. There's an event coming up."
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought maybe they'll improve these suckers and they'll be good.
I only know one person that loved those things. Only one person loved them, and that's because they had funky ears. That's about the best way I can describe it.
I didn't feel like they fit my ears very well.
Right.
Ron Richards on All About Android, he actually loves them.
So that's 2 people.
I can't wear those ear things. I cannot do earbuds. They just do not. They just fall right out.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a problem with earbuds.
Have you changed the little to the smallest setting?
The little loop-de-loo thing? Yeah.
Well, no, I was going to say, have you actually used the custom earbud things? Do you actually customize them?
Oh, the tips.
Well, like the Apple?
I've changed the tips on some.
Well, I changed the tips, yeah.
Oh, okay. I had a friend who was like, they never fit me. And I asked them, and they were like,
what?
Oh.
Wait,
so
you
I was
can
like,
do
maybe.
that?
Well, those things
I was gonna say-
the things that just kind of hang in your ear, impossible.
Uh-huh.
Impossible.
Okay, yeah.
What do you have on now?
These are like just little white earbuds. I think I pulled them out of my drawer of tricks because I didn't want my big heavy ones. But there are 2 new buds out. The Microsoft ones from this morning.
Yep.
And the Amazon buds that bring you Madam A in your ear from last week. And then presumably the new ones. So there's a cornucopia of buds.
I love that you did that. You're making the segues easy, Stacey. How about this? Let's thank the sponsor, and then we will come back. We'll talk about Amazon. We will talk about this morning's Microsoft event. Ant was on set with Micah this morning
with one eye open, trying to stay awake.
It was a little early. It's okay. You get up really early these days, so it's all right. It's no big deal. And then, of course, Stacey, you were at the Amazon event. So
I have questions for you, Stacey. Can't wait to hear your reaction to things.
Lots.
I can't wait either.
Of things to discuss after this break. This episode of This Week in Google is brought to you by Kaptara. Kaptara is so cool. It's the leading free online resource to help you find the best software solution for your business. So if you're like, we need software for the business, I have no idea where to start to compare, to even know what's out there, well, that's what Kaptara is best at. If you can lessen your workload, you do it. And that's what you can do with Kaptara. It just cuts that workload down because it does all the hard work for you. Kaptara helps you find the right software for your needs fast, compare thousands of software options, read reviews, instantly narrow your favorites so you can find the right software right now. And that's at kaptara.com/twig. With over 1 million reviews of products from real software users, you can discover everything you need to make an informed decision. That's validation that you can trust so you can then be confident with the purchase that you're making. So don't forget to leave a review yourself. That's what improves the community over time and makes it even more of a valuable resource. You can continue to help Kaptara be the leading free online resource for software solutions. You can search more than 700 specific categories of software, everything from digital workplace software to video management software. No matter what kind of software your business needs, Kaptara makes it easy to discover the right solution fast. And Kaptara believes the software makes the world a better place, because software can help every organization become a more efficient, effective version of itself. And you start going through the category list, you're going to see just how detailed and specific it can get. And you didn't even realize there was software specifically for computer repair shops, or conflict checking software, or consignment software. We're just in the C's. We're in a small part of the C's right now, and that's what you're going to find there. Hop on down to the yes, I'm following whatever you're pulling up there, John. Employee scheduling, of course, there's plenty of software for that. Emissions management, all across the board. Just jump in there and find a category, and you'll be amazed at just how much software exists there. And then, of course, the tools at Kaptara for comparing them. Finding a few is great, but what if you want to know feature by feature what something has, piece of software has, or even features that you didn't even know existed, how they rate? That's what it's all about. Join the millions of people who use Kaptara each month to find the right tools for their business. You can visit kaptara.com/twig for free today, and you can find the tools to make an informed decision for your business. That's kaptara.com/twig, kapterra.com/TWIG. Kaptara is software selection simplified, and we thank Kaptara for their support. So do we begin with Microsoft because it was this morning? It's the freshest. I feel like there was a big surprise in the Microsoft announcement this morning. There were a couple at the very end, right?
Yeah, right there at the very end. They did their whole one more thing, but I think it was more like a 1.1 thing.
It was one more thing, and then what? Did he go off stage and then he came back? He was like, "Oh, actually, there's another thing."
He literally said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," as if, all right, that's the end of the story. And then we get the Neo, which is a beautiful dual display device. But the Duo right after that was quite a surprise. Quite a surprise.
And, I mean, we've been hearing for a long time now that Microsoft is just out of the mobile phone game.
Allegedly, they are.
Allegedly. Didn't really work for them. So they kind of, back to the drawing board, apparently. And so the Duo is actually running Android, right?
Right.
That's part of the reason that we would talk about this on this show. What did you think? Like, it kind of seems like we know very little about it at this point, right?
Again, I'm going to go on record, as I said, in the live stream that we had here on the network. The Duo, I'm not sold on it because I'm just not ready for the foldable phone. I just don't see where that fits in my workflow. I know there's some people that think having the extra screens in their pocket is just giving them a smaller version of a tablet. But I just can't get into it. I do like the fact that the screen is not foldable itself. There's a space in between the hinges, so you don't have to deal with what Samsung was dealing with for a $2,200 device that's going to eventually wear out, regardless of how many times they tested it in their labs. So you got that going for it.
Yep.
But the Neo, on the other hand, I totally dig that. Now, the
Neo is not Android. This is Windows
Android.
10.
Windows
X,
10 only.
Right.
10X, sorry.
What about it has you?
Because you're getting productivity out of it. You have the dual screens, but you can have basically like a smaller laptop, if you will. You get your extra keyboard that pulls out that's magnetically attached to it. It can slide to give you an extra touch bar like what Mac had on the MacBook Pros, the touch bar, but it's actually useful and not getting in the way.
So is it a tablet? I'm sorry. The Neo is a tablet, or is it a laptop? Or?
The Neo is
it's a tablet with an attached keyboard.
Right. But it's just small enough. Now, the way they demoed it in the keynote is they were holding it more like a book.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily.
Definitely they were holding it like a book.
I don't like that. Give it more of a clamshell productivity form, and I'm with. No, they called it a posture. That's what they kept saying during the keynote. Posture.
Okay.
If you set it up more like a laptop, I think it's a great device for about a 9. I think it was a 9-inch display.
Okay.
But the phone, the Duo, nice that they're jumping in with the Android world and trying to get that market share, but it's not for me.
But they went to great lengths, from what I understand, to not call it a phone, right?
Why?
Why?
Maybe because there's still more development.
Okay. Yeah.
This isn't coming out until holiday of 2020.
2020, correct.
Yeah, this is
like
a ways
full
out.
year.
I give them credit for not rushing into it the way other OEMs have, but it's nice to just wait.
Yeah, early preview out a little more than a year from now. The version that they were showing has a Snapdragon 855, which is this year's nearly top of the line. It was top of the line until the 855 Plus came out. So, if they stick with that and it comes out next year, you're running into the complaints of like, okay.
Yeah, but again, this is a non-production version that they showed today.
Totally.
So
hopefully that would upgrade by then. I totally agree. Like, I'm not a big fan of the foldable technology the way it is now, because from a fragility standpoint, things are so fragile.
You're spending too much money for that to break.
Yeah. At the same time, the scene down the middle is really nice when you're using it for productivity, but don't watch a movie like that.
No.
I guarantee you it's just not going to be fun seeing that line through the middle of your movie.
I liked with the Neo, they had the dockable options. If you're running Windows 10, you're used to pinning windows along your display.
Yeah.
But you can do this with the Neo and put it down on that lower tiered screen just above your keyboard and hop back up to the main display and take notes or what have you based on what you're seeing down there just above your keyboard. I think that's
neat.
Perfect use case. It's not just, oh, it's a pretty display there. You're actually getting some use out of that extra real estate right there.
Yeah. Do you think it will fare better than the Touch Bar has on the MacBook Pros?
Clearly, night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day. Now, granted, Microsoft was showing it off with a bunch of emojis and things of that nature, but
which you could do on the Touch Bar.
Whatever,
And I feel like the Touch Bar hasn't quite lived up to what Apple probably expected that it would.
No.
But it's a neat idea. But yeah, so I'm interested in that. And then, of course, Surface Buds. This kind of ties back in with what we were talking about before the break.
The Surface Buds, a lot of people didn't like the aesthetics when we were looking in the live chat.
It's like a big circle in your ear.
They look like, what do you call those? Gauges.
They
look like
they
gauges that people wear.
Oh,
Yes, they do.
But people tend to forget that when the Apple AirPods came out, they took a lot of flack from the way they look, too.
And they still look weird.
And
sorry.
People love them, but people...
So
my opinion.
This is like an etiquette thing maybe, but like I noticed that my husband has the AirPods and I can always tell when they're in his ears. So that's nice. I try not to talk to him when he has them in his ears. Now I have the Jabra. Oh, look, they're right here. I have the little Jabra things. And when I put them in my ears, you can't actually see that there's anything in my ears because my hair's in the way too.
Okay.
So he never knows to talk to me or not. He's just constantly like.
That has nothing to do with the AirPods. I'm sorry.
That's your excuse. You just ignore him all the time. I know how it is as a husband. I get it. You just, oh no, I got my earpods. I'm listening to you, sure, but I.
So yeah, he has this weird thing where he'll walk up real close to me and he like peers over into my ears, and I'm like, what is happening? But that design is really helpful because it's also nice for people like if you have them in like while you're trying to shop or something, you can see them.
Right.
They don't hide.
It's like a visible do not disturb mode.
Right.
Yeah, and there's
That's
a question
perfect for
like
the airplane.
Yeah.
Should you be wearing them all the time? Maybe not, but
Yeah.
I don't mind that design. I think it's good to be obvious in that situation.
Yeah, that's not a bad place for it to be obvious when you're listening to something. Sometimes that's why people put earphones on to begin with, whether they're listening to something or not. It's I want to be alone right now.
I do
with my thoughts.
Okay, confession moment.
Yeah.
Do you ever not want to talk to anybody, so you put in earbuds, but you're not actually listening to anything?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Totally. Do that.
This is the land of introverts. What do you say?
Yeah, none of us want to talk to people.
But
sometimes I just walk around with a scowl on my face and no one talks to me.
Well, that does it. Yeah.
So in our office, actually, I have big over-ear headphones, and I don't necessarily put them on because I don't want to talk to people, but I put them on because I can concentrate.
Isolation.
Better
office room.
that way.
Notice the dynamic here. Jason's trying to say to his office roommate, I'm not ignoring you. And if you catch me with no sound on, it's not an insult. Really, it's not. I'm just meditating.
But let's put it this way: I did it long before you got into the office.
Noted. Wow.
But I feel it's almost like putting on white noise for me. Like sometimes wearing earphones, and especially the over ears, because they kind of like block out all sound.
Yep.
For me, it's like a vacuum that sucks out the noise from the room, so that I can
canceling.
focus on what I'm reading. And
I get that.
But I enjoy being interrupted.
Yeah.
Interrupt me anytime you like.
I've
I
officially
bet he
been
loves
here
when
for.
you come over and tap him on the shoulder,
No,
right? That's probably his
Scare
favorite.
the hell out of him.
I've officially been here for 1 month. That honeymoon is clearly over now, right?
Oh, hey, Ann. Now, don't bother me. The headphones are on.
Now, the pricing of those Surface Buds, they're listing at $249. You can get them at the end of the year, holiday season, I believe is what they said.
Some pricey earbuds.
That's expensive, but I wonder if it lives up.
Though.
I wonder if it lives up to the, far as audio quality, and then you have all the other gesture controls and whatnot built into it.
Will it work well with Android? I mean, it's all the G stuff and all that.
Right.
I
don't know about the assistants.
Voice assistant, and you activate a voice assistant. Yes. So, yep.
I could not.
Yeah, it works with Cortana
One of your choice.
or Google
You don't
Assistant.
have to use Willy or whatever. What's Microsoft's?
Cortana.
Cortana?
Willy. I wish it was Willy. Hey, Willy. Willy is a really good voice assistant name.
No, they have to have 3 syllables, but Willie would be awesome.
Oh, I wish it was. I wish it was Willy.
Yeah.
It's Cortana. It's, by comparison, a much more boring name. But yes, it does support that. It doesn't say anything about Siri. So
I wonder why.
Weird. And $250 for like true wireless earphones isn't actually really that expensive. I mean, it's pricier.
But again, looking at the quality you get, that's what I want to know. How will these things sound in my ears? Because you're paying a lot of money for those dadgum horrible Beats by Dre headphones and all of that stuff. This has to be a better value.
Sherilyn Lowe from Engadget says that the sound quality is it says they're, let's see here, I wouldn't go as far as to say they're top-notch quality, but I wasn't disappointed. So,
and she is in a crowded
that's true
room
yes.
right now too.
She's in a crowded.
That's a pretty caveated review right there.
Could go either way. I think that just means wait for our review where we can actually listen to these in an environment that we can control and
on the showroom floor with a bunch of grabby other journalists. You know?
Totally. Okay, so that's Microsoft. There were other things, but I think we should also talk about Amazon, because Amazon last week had their big announcement with like 80,000 new products all running
Madam A.
Oof, that was close. I'm sure I fired one off anyways. So what did you think, Stacey? I actually already know because we talked to you on Tech News Weekly, but what are some of your highlights?
Okay. Yeah, and I did a bad job on Tech News Weekly because I didn't even get to like the cool gadgets. I was so busy being excited about other stuff, so I'm sorry.
No, I thought it was great.
Okay. So a week later, having had time to process, the biggest, most exciting things for me were Samuel L. Jackson, because everybody wanted him.
Hands down.
In sound. So they will replace Madam A with Samuel L. Jackson for 99 cents. You get explicit or clean. It's pretty cool. I don't know. Is that available now? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
You would think I looked it up like 2 days afterwards, but I haven't looked. It wasn't there, but I haven't looked like today.
Coming soon, as of 2 days
still
ago,
coming
so,
soon.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't think so.
You got some new Echo devices, new Echo Show, medium size, not great. You got an Echo Dot with an alarm clock. You got a tiny Echo device called a Flex that plugs into an outlet and is like you could put Madam A anywhere in your house. And it was it's cheaper than an Echo Dot. So if $30 was too much, try 25. And their crazy wish fulfillment. The crazy out there devices. They introduced 2. One was the frames, which is an invitation-only $179.99 pair of glasses that has Madam A integrated into the glasses. There's no heads-up display.
Stacey? They look pretty clunky in the pictures.
So they're hipster glasses. I picked them up. They actually weigh less than my glasses, I have some hipster glasses that are made of old press record vinyl. So that's pretty heavy material.
Oh,
that is too hip for wearing.
I do, and I love them, you guys.
Oh my gosh!
So these are 31 grams. So
and
they're lighter than those.
If you scratch them just the right way, it plays a tune.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Anyway,
that is like hipster at another level. Is sunglasses made from vinyl?
This is actually Abbey Road.
Too.
I'm wearing Abbey Road.
And they're all bespoke. So everyone is custom. You don't get to choose your color on the inside.
You don't get to choose the artist that is printed on your glasses.
Anyway, okay. We can all mock my glasses.
All right.
But these glasses, which I really want.
Permission after we started.
I'm just rolling with it, man. These I want. I have applied for them. I want them so badly because I really would like Madam A to be accessible through a pair of glasses that I wear all the time. And they're not designed, and I would like it without the earbuds because I don't like wearing earbuds because then I can't hear the world around me. So this feels kind of both safer and
if you're sitting on a subway, Stacey, will the next person hear what you're hearing?
No, it's very hard to hear. I had to get up really uncomfortably close to a complete stranger to even hear that there was like something happening.
Wow. Is it bone conduction? Bone conduction?
I don't think
it's not.
It's not.
It's not. But it's really well done. Like, again, complete stranger. I'm really sorry, whoever you were. I'm like, hello, as I lean really far in. So it's nice, and they're lightweight, and I like that they don't have the heads-up display. And the battery life is enough for like 90 notifications for about a day of intermittent Madam A use. It's only like 45 minutes of listening to music. So this is not a replacement. It's additive to something like earbuds. And then the other thing they showed in the crazy device category was something called the Loop, which is a fat ring that has both a microphone and a speaker. And you can talk to your hand to be like, Madam A, add this to my list, or what is the capital of Pennsylvania? And then she would tell you, you can hold it. You can hold it up to your ear and she'll talk.
No, you don't do that. Really?
Really, they actually showed that. And there's a video. If you look for the video for the Loop, the guy is like surreptitiously talking to it just like this. And then he's like,
I'm sorry. I'll probably get fuzzed for this, but talk to the finger.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, talk to the hand. So that's a little cheaper. I don't see why you would want that, but if you would, you can order it, or you can.
So it's a little tiny speaker.
It is. It's easy.
Could you have a phone call?
You could. You can actually have a small phone call on it. I think it's only got 20 minutes of talk. Maybe that's the frames that only have 20 minutes of talk time. I think the frames have 20 minutes of talk time. I don't know what the Ring has. Because who would talk to their Ring? So those were the devices. The other device that I was really stoked about was the new Echo Studio, which was shaped like an ice bucket, and it plays Dolby Atmos formatted stuff on a really high-end speaker. It's kind of the competitor for Google's Max. Oh God, what is it? The Google Nest
Hub Max. Yeah.
Home Max.
Yeah. So this one's $200, so $199.99, and I kind of want it because, dang, it sounded really good. And if you have a Fire TV, you could almost replace a sound bar. This was really well engineered from an audio standpoint. So those are the devices. So
Stacey, you left out the two things I'm most curious about, given your opinions.
Ooh. Okay.
One, is your dog going to be have her privacy violated wearing the Amazon dog collar thing?
I can't wait to talk about Sidewalk. Okay. Because y'all, it is a new wireless protocol. And everyone who knows me knows that, like, I literally squealed in excitement.
It's doggy mesh, right?
It's not a doggy mesh. We'll talk about that.
Oh.
Okay. The exciting thing here is what Amazon has done is create an infrastructure, or the potential for infrastructure, that would allow it to set up its own wireless network, low data rate, low power wireless network wherever it sells devices. And that is freaking amazing. and a huge coup because it would compete with businesses like Sigfox, the cellular carriers with NB-IoT, and things like LoRa. So what they did is they found out doing their Ring security stuff. They were like, oh, Wi-Fi really sucks outside of the house and in the neighborhood area. So we need a good protocol that lets these lights and security things talk to each other. And they realized that they didn't want to probably deal with cellular carriers because who wants to do that?
Of course.
So they took a 900 megahertz radio. They built a wireless protocol that is secure, or that they say is secure, on top of it. So it allows these devices to talk to each other. It's a mesh network. It is low power. And because it's 900 megahertz, that's unlicensed spectrum, which means they're putting this in some of their Ring devices. They have 700 test devices in the LA basin among their
it's not
employees.
Just that. It's all. I see. The way the press release read it, like there were 700 dogs.
No, 700 Ring devices that have this radio in it, and they've created a network that covers that. To show that off, they launched something called Fetch, which is a dog collar tracker thing. So when your dog goes out of your yard, it'll notify you. But it also will be able to track it anywhere within that coverage area. So imagine now anything you buy from Ring coming out, in that's not the case today. The new stuff from Ring will have this radio in it. But eventually, anything you buy from Amazon, if they like this idea, could have this radio in it. And then suddenly Amazon has this whole network infrastructure wherever they have devices.
See, I don't think I understand this because, well, maybe you just answered it. Wherever these devices are, what if you're in a rural area and you don't have another neighbor for
your dog's
5
lost.
miles, you know?
Yeah, your dog in that case is going to be lost. It has about it's 500 meters is about the coverage for one radio.
Okay.
So this is not going to work well in super rural areas.
But your dog runs 2 miles away where they happen to have a bunch of them, it'll pick back up again.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're in an area where people have these devices, then you've got a de facto network and de facto.
But it's going to take a while before it populates sufficiently.
All right. So
I don't know. Think about how fast they've been selling Amazon Echoes.
That's true.
All right, Stacey,
And
here's the question.
Wait, hold on. And next year, they said they're going to release the SDK for the protocol, which means other people could put this in their devices. And 900 megahertz is really popular for things like microwave ovens, for baby monitors, for garage doors. It's crazy. Okay.
But that doesn't mean, wait. Now I got 2 questions.
Oh.
That doesn't mean, but the Amazon one is hooked up to an Amazon network that says, here's Fido.
Well,
whereas if I use the SDK for something else, it's not hooked into the same network.
So yes, we're talking tradition. We're talking about what is essentially 2 networks. One is a 900 megahertz network, which is all these devices communicating, and your Fetch device will talk to that. All of those devices have to have a backhaul to the public internet, which in Amazon's case, in the Ring devices, it goes through Wi-Fi. So your dog's tracking is actually on a 900 megahertz thing, and that
into
signal,
someone's Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Any privacy implications to this?
Well, we don't know because we don't have the protocol. There have been precedent. So something like Phone from back in, when was Phone? Phone. That was probably 10 years ago. They wanted to share people's public Wi-Fi by creating a separate Wi-Fi network. Your cable company actually does this already. Like Comcast has a public network that piggybacks on your Wi-Fi. Yep. So you've got your Wi-Fi that's personal, but then they also use your router to have other public Wi-Fi. Could you?
Phone still exists?
No, I think Phone might still exist.
Yeah,
it does.
I think it still exists.
Phone.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, from I'm sure there are ways to hack into this. I'm sure Amazon has considered a lot of them. I'm sure that it will continuously update it, just like anybody who owns a protocol should update these things. So the answer to your question is yes, probably, but I know they're thinking about that. Oh, I should also mention that at the event, Amazon did spend the first 10 minutes talking about privacy and ways that they're protecting privacy.
All right, Stacey, you still haven't answered my question.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the other question?
Will your little doggy be wearing one of these?
No, because right now I don't live in an area where I have network coverage. But
well,
when
if
I
you
have
had
network coverage, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, because
all right, here's my
dog,
other device you haven't talked about. Ms. $1,500 June oven.
Oh,
are you getting the Amazon oven? Jeez, how could you not have led with that? You're Stacey Higginbotham.
We talked about that on the show this morning. So tomorrow's show is going to be very boring if you listen to my show because you're going to hear all of that. So the big theme here. Last year, Amazon's big theme was like, keep it simple, stupid, and like help people get their devices on the network and help make Madam A accessible all over the place, right? And this year they were like, hell yeah, we've done that and more. And they had some really good talking points to prove that. The next year, what they've signaled that they're focusing on is making Madam A into a super platform that runs across all kinds of services and devices. And the oven is a great example of the power of that platform. June, their oven is like, is it $7.99 right now? Because I know they had to raise prices because of tariffs. So it's $7.99. You're paying for a camera. You're paying for an NVIDIA Tesla chip that's doing the image recognition in there. What Amazon has done is they've said, you know what? We don't need any of that because we have this digital assistant that it has. So when you say, make me a baked potato, the June has to recognize that I've put a baked potato in there. Amazon's oven, I'll just tell it that I'm putting a baked potato in there and then it cooks it. And that's a very fundamental difference, but it makes a cheaper device and it shows the power of this type of Madam A platform. And that is what I think about that. Is there a separate
Madam A device from the actual oven, or is it built into the oven? It looked like it was separate.
No, you need a dot. So the oven comes with a dot because it doesn't have Madam A inside of the oven, which is fine. Mm-hmm. That's another example of like the power of being able to do something like this. You can just basically you don't actually have to have the speaker or anything in there.
Right. You could.
Are you getting one, Stacey? Are you getting one?
I don't know. I don't have the counter space, but I really want to try it. So I'm probably going to try to get a review unit so I can send it back.
I believe Mr.
Does anyone
Toffel
else want to send me one to review?
Who was excited, Ant?
Wasn't Mr. Toffel excited about this last week when we talked about it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
he was on the. I wasn't on the show.
But he was trying to
I mean,
explain the whole with the camera inside of it recognizing a chicken breast or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's so cool about the June. But now you don't need that because the smarts are built into the digital assistant platform. It doesn't matter if your oven recognizes the food because you just told it what it's supposed to make. I mean, it's a subtle difference, but it's a really important one if we think about like the smart home going forward, because then you could build an internet connection into a device and have it talk to its preferred digital assistant. So my lamp could have an internet connection, but it doesn't need to have a microphone and speaker.
Right.
It's just controlled via my voice, from the cloud.
So you could either have that oven or you could have a Jemmy twerking bear. And they would operate roughly the same, except one cooks things and one twerks.
Man. One does nothing useful. I am so down on this bear. I hate this bear. There was so much cool stuff, and everyone's like, the bear. It's
a bear that's twerking.
It's cute, right?
I'm sorry, you guys. There was a whole new wireless protocol.
Well, all I know is we don't have
priorities, people.
A hands-on review of the wireless protocol, but we do have a hands-on review of the twerking bear,
which is pretty funny.
Twit.tv/HOT, episode 54. Look for that, Micah Sargent.
It's a great
reviewed Jemmy. It's Jemmy, right?
Not Jemmy.
Yeah. Okay, Jemmy twerking bear. Yes, it is a wonderful review. Whether you like it or not, you should watch it, Stacey. Just saying.
And everyone, okay, I have to address this because it's happening in the chat room, and I love you guys. But the issue isn't the ability to control your oven with your voice. It's that you can be an idiot and not know how to cook food, and it will do it at the right. It's got the pre-programmed recipes and ability to control the cooking settings.
Well, see, that was my argument last week with. It seems like for me, cooking is unless you're baking a cake or something, cooking is done a lot off of feel. You go to make a steak or what have you. You're seasoning it up and you're grilling it or whatever. It's a feel when you know when that thing is done, and
this eliminates you.
You're
not needed anymore. You're over.
But if you don't
get away
have
from the
that
grill,
knowledge,
it's going to happen without you now.
Yeah.
Oh, don't take that
if
joy
you don't
from
have
me.
that knowledge, this is a way to gain it without ruining.
Right.
Like, if you buy like a $50, what are those things called? I don't eat a lot of meat. It's filet mignon, but big.
Right. Ribeyes.
No, it's that big hunk of meat. Tenderloin.
Oh, tenderloin.
Beef tenderloin.
Right.
Super expensive, right? And if you're cooking that thing, you are like, oh my God. And I will put that in my June oven and I don't even worry about it because it knows exactly and it's got like 9 cooking cycles for these things, right? And that level of pre-programmed knowledge is the value here. It's not that I'm telling it to do something.
Or there probes available with this?
I don't know if the Amazon oven has a probe.
Somehow it's got to have some
think it has to.
data feedback.
Right. Yeah. Because again,
does it also have a
feel when it comes with meat, because one roast is going to cook a little bit faster than the other if it has a bone in it versus how much fat content it may have in it. It's feel.
Yeah.
And here's my confession here. So I was a Ponderosa Steakhouse kitchen manager. I never made it up to the grill because I never got that. You feel it, and you know it's medium.
That's right.
It's this part of your hand.
Yes,
exactly. See,
I could never get it.
Medium rare.
That's not right. Oh my gosh, what were you doing?
This is for TV. What I'm doing right now is just for TV. It's not, don't follow.
It's this part.
It does have a temperature probe.
It does. Okay, that's good.
I know it feels kind of bony to me.
So does it have a dialogue, Stacey? Like, cook the meat. Does it say what meat?
Yes,
cook
you
potatoes.
say, Madam
How many
A,
potatoes?
Cook salmon.
Is there any dialogue here so it has a little more data from you?
So you can't. I don't know. My June, if I put a piece of salmon in it, it's asked me if I want it flaky or tender or something.
Plus, it has a camera to know how big the salmon is.
It's got to know.
Yes, but it's using the temperature probe. I thought it was using the scale and things like that, but it's really only using the probe.
Okay.
So the camera.
Helps.
Yeah.
That makes it, I hate saying it, idiot proof. I get that.
Well, and that's good, though. I mean, I know that there's
otherwise
a whole
known
bunch
as
of
Jeff proof.
Yeah. If you like to cook, you like to cook. But there are tons of people who it's just.
Oh, when my wife went on
the most popular
bed rest.
search is how to boil water.
Yeah.
Oh,
on one of their cooking sites.
I'm terrible. Well, my wife went on bed rest when she was pregnant with our first and second, and I practically killed her with near raw chicken. I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea.
Oh, bless it.
Yeah.
I need the Jeff proof oven.
So maybe, Jeff, you should be the guy reviewing this.
Yeah.
Tell your
Maybe
wife you're going to take over dinner and play with it. See what happens.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, something like this, it doesn't have to replace the person who really enjoys cooking and can do it.
Right. It's just another option. I get it.
If you enjoy cooking, I enjoy cooking. If you enjoy cooking, continue to do that.
Yeah.
Ant's going to be the cooking Luddite. He's going to be slamming ovens to the ground. You will not replace me.
While I'm out trying to find a hickory tree and
yeah.
Good luck.
I was like, I like to cook, but it's so awesome. I'll just pop some chicken breasts into the June oven, stick that thing in there, and and it's done, and I don't have to think. I'll actually be cooking our dinner while I do that for to chop up on salads or whatever. So
yeah.
I don't know. And my daughter can cook, and she's 13.
Sometimes you feel like cook, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, you're right. Depends on the night. If it's Thursday night football, no, I don't want to cook.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Throw it in your automated oven and be happy that it's cooking for you.
I want filet now before I kick off. Thank you.
There we go. Sounds good to me. Let's see here. Before we get it, should we do the changelog now, or are we missing anything before the changelog?
Oh, hold on here. Hold on.
I know, because there's so many things in here. There's no way we're getting to it all.
No, not at all. Hold on. Is that everything I saw here? I think you did a good job, fella. I think you hit the interesting stuff. Oh, I know one thing. Yes. So Kamala Harris sends at Jack a letter urging him to suspend Trump's account. What do we think of this?
No, let's not talk about this at all.
I was getting ready.
Panic.
I took a breath.
I don't know. What do you think about it, Jeff?
Well, I'm of two minds. I'm arguing with myself. The Stacey me says, and the Jeff me says, I think normally I'm Mr. Free Speech, but this is not a matter of free speech, not a matter of First Amendment. It's a private company. And I think at some point the private companies have to say enough. Now, Twitter came up with a policy that it's not following. There were 3 policies announced in short order.
Okay.
Twitter's for newsmakers, for important people, right, for politicians. Twitter's policy was we're going to leave it up, but we're going to put a sign on it that says this violates our policy, but because this is a newsmaker, we're leaving it up so you can see. Facebook called me among 50 people, and I don't work for Facebook. I did raise money for my school from Facebook, but I don't work for Facebook. But they call people. They said, what do you think we should do? And I said they should do what Twitter's policy says, which is leave it up so we can see what the dastardly deed is, but say it's a dastardly deed and this doesn't meet your standards. They're not doing that. I think it's a bad idea. YouTube is following the Facebook model. They're going to not do anything. They're just going to leave it up. So I think that the Twitter model is the right model. The problem is Twitter's not following it. But I kind of get that. If you're Jack Dorsey sitting there, and are you going to be the brave person alone who's going to say, I'm going to start slapping around Trump in my own yay, oh, what a headache. Give me some warm chocolate cake. Right? And so I think that the Kamala Harris long-winded answer, sorry you asked me, but I asked myself in a way. The Kamala Harris letter gives him cover to do something. And I think that we have to start doing that. I think we have to start putting not just pressure on the platforms, but also cover for saying it's not good enough to go laissez-faire and leave it all up. You've got to take a stand at some point. If people start calling for civil war, that's going over the edge here, folks. And you can't just let this happen without comment from you. And so maybe Twitter comes and says, no, we're not going to take it down, but we are going to start putting the warning up. And maybe that's a good thing, and maybe it starts to have a better discussion about what kind of internet discussion we want to have. Since I asked, that's my answer. You guys?
I'm with you. The only issue I had with it is the what do you call it? Letterhead. Why did I blank out on that word? It comes off as it's campaigning when I see the letterhead. Take that out, and I'm totally fine.
Which letterhead did she? Oh, she used her campaign letterhead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if she had used her Senate letterhead, would that have seemed to be trying to intimidate Twitter by using official position?
No, because she is who she is.
She is a senator.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't she their senator? Isn't she?
She's California.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's.
It's not an intimidation.
Even more that way, you're right.
It's just a fact, But this looks more like campaigning, in my opinion. That's what stopped me. But to my mind, so does Elizabeth Warren saying she wants to break up the platforms. That's campaigning. That's campaigning.
When anyone's running for president or hoping to make it into contention to be the next president, I just kind of assume almost anything they're doing has that at least in mind.
Yeah.
That everything is through that optic. Yeah. At the same time, it feels like in very unprecedented times right now, and sometimes that calls for things that are outside of the norm, and I feel like so if Kamala Harris is moved to do this right now, it's kind of a little of both, right? Like, of course it's campaigning, but it also might be out of a point of necessity for someone in her position to do that.
So
Stacey, you didn't want to answer the question. You didn't want to talk about this, but I'm curious your response.
No, I think Jack was it him? Someone had recently come out saying that politicians are held to a different standard on Twitter, newsmakers being held to a different standard. And I actually think that's right. Part of me is utterly dismayed at the lowering of presidential discourse or lowering of just any civil discourse. And by civil, I don't mean being nice, but like civil around democracy and talking about our society. And in that, the president's tweets, obviously, they make me sad. there is a lot of hate coming out and it feels sanctioned, but I don't see how you can take someone like the president of the United States off of a platform like Twitter.
Do you think
right?
do you think Twitter should label things that otherwise would not pass their standards?
Yes, I think it, but that's always going to be politicized. They're always the right. The right is always going to call that as a political step. So I understand intellectually. I understand why. I don't really know. You can't build the thought is, let's build an algorithm, but we all know that algorithms are just as biased as we are. Mm-hmm. So the only this is kind of like arguing morality in some ways, right? Like we all have different versions of it and we know what's really wrong. And I feel that most people on Twitter can look at that and say, this is not how we would like to have our president discuss things. Mm-hmm. But there is a small segment of people who are really thrilled by this, and it emboldens them when you try to stop it. The bottom line is it makes me sad, and I'm very confused. I mean, it makes me sad, but I don't think it should be shut down. I guess that's really what it is. I don't like it.
It's polarizing on both sides, just like you said.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It makes me sad,
Sorry.
too.
I know this is Stacey's really insightful comment. It makes me sad.
This is
Let's talk about wireless
whiskey.
protocols.
It's not whiskey.
We'll get you some whiskey after the show. All right. And why don't we then sound the horns?
Yes.
The Google changelog. That was the end one at the beginning. That's okay. We'll do the horns at the end. When Leo's out of here, we do things opposite. It's opposite day today. So I know that you don't care about dark mode, Jeff, but
it's not a question of not caring. It's a question of hating it.
Okay, I know
it's
that.
a question of of Niagara Falls step by step hatred.
Wow, no kidding.
Jeff has no mild opinions. Jeff is only
it creeps me out. Dark
mode. Man.
But go ahead, Jason.
Okay.
Go ahead and
I'm going to lead with it.
Creep me out, fella.
Google Messages and Google Voice both getting their dark mode theme. Yeah. They aren't listening to you, Jeff. They're going forward with the dark mode because, they kind of promised that they would. So that's happening. Not a whole lot more
I
there.
do dark mode on Gmail, by the way, and it turns Gmail, but the actual emails, when you open them, are still light. So it's absolutely useless.
Yeah, it's still buggy.
That's a little broken.
Gmail knows best. It's protecting itself.
Gmail and Jeff are in
higher
cahoots.
Comprehension of your email. Otherwise, you wouldn't really be able to read it. You'd be reading it slower. You'd get a headache.
Protecting you.
Gmail knows best.
It's safe. It's saving you. Google announced a number of privacy and security related features rolling out soon. Just real quick here, Maps is finally getting its incognito mode update, which we've heard about. You would just tap profile photo, turn on incognito mode, and then you're searching, you're navigating, all that stuff would be incognito. So it would not be saved to your Google account or guide any personalization in the app. Android's going to get it this month. iOS will be getting it soon. Also, YouTube is getting auto delete history functionality. This happened a few months ago, I think back in May, for deleting location and web activity. Now YouTube's getting it. You'll have the option of auto deleting your YouTube activity after 3 months or 18 months, or you can choose to just delete it on your own or keep it forever, whatever. It's up to you. Soon coming to Assistant, you can delete Assistant activity simply by saying, "Hey G, delete everything I said last week," or something along those lines. And
I wish I could do that for life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right.
I was like, Amazon said you can do that now for Madam A, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
So that is apparently going to hit Assistant devices next week. And then also one other thing here, password checkup is coming to Chrome later this year. It's going to check to see if a user's password has been leaked or compromised in known data breaches. You'll be able to find that within Chrome, I think at the passwords.google.com site. And Chrome will warn you to change your password when it finds that your ID and your password have been found in any of those databases for previously known data breaches. Google Play now will now have new settings for bulk adjustments. So if you go to Settings, General, Google Play Preferences, and I don't know if this is there yet, but it's coming, you'll have the ability to, in bulk, clear wish lists, leave from all of the betas. If you just want to be done with all betas, you could do that in one swoop instead of having to remember and go in and do it individually. Unregister for upcoming events and unregister for app and game pre-registrations. So that's a couple of options there. YouTube Music is now going to replace Google Play Music as the default music player on Android 10.
No one's thrilled about that one.
I'm not thrilled about that one. And this would only be for like a new device or a factory reset, that sort of thing.
But Play Music still exists.
Play Music still exists, yes.
Oh, okay, fine.
It's not going anywhere yet. Google has said that it won't go anywhere until something along the lines of YouTube Music has feature parity for the most part, all the main features, and we are nowhere near that.
Right.
Yet Google is still kind of on this trajectory of making YouTube Music replace it. I feel like it's a little premature because I'm just not a big fan, but there you go. Google has its reasons. Google Duo for Android is getting an update that now includes effects and filters for video messages. So you can, have things like animated backgrounds, things like glasses to wear to track along with your face. At this point, this feels like old news, but Duo is getting it now. And then some more traditional color filters, that sort of stuff coming to Duo for messages. This is actually really neat. Action Blocks, which was just announced today. It's a new accessibility tool for creating multi-step tasks using Assistant. And it's actually designed for people with cognitive disabilities. You can do something like add a title, assign an assistant task, so spell out what the assistant task will do. You can pick an image to be associated with it, and then that's placed as a shortcut on your home screen, so that when someone is using their device and they look at the home screen and they see the picture, the example that they have is of a man reading a story to a little girl, then that would fire off an assistant command to read a story, and it would jump into it. It would be an easier way for them to just with one tap.
It's great seeing an effort like this being put in there. We were just looking in the Twit community, the Twit backstage, twit.community.
Yep, twit.community.
Website there. Someone was just bringing that up, saying, hey, we need more recognition and acknowledgement for people with disabilities and accessibility concerns when it comes to using today's technology, other than voice activation.
There's a lot going on in Android when it comes to accessibility right now. I feel like Android for the longest time was behind, and now especially the live captions. That's such a huge step forward.
Competition's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. And that's just amazing that's coming out now. And then finally, yet another service to add to Google's list of killed services. Bulletin, if you remember, was a hyper-local news service, similar in ways to Nextdoor. It launched in 2018, and it's shuttering in 2 weeks' time. Shared posts, if you shared any there.
Hardly knew ye.
Yeah, really. In fact, we forgot ye.
Completely forgot ye.
Yes.
Well, it wasn't really available. It was only available in a few places. They didn't promote it. Nobody knew to put anything up there. And it's the same problem with in my biz of user-generated news is like, why should I? What am I getting out of this?
Yeah.
So,
quite honestly, this is the first time I've heard of Google Bulletin right now.
Well,
I vaguely
see what you
remember.
missed.
Yeah, I vaguely remember hearing about it, and then it was just kind of gone and forgotten.
Wow.
So, and obviously so, because a year later, it's being shuttered.
Wow.
So if you happen to share anything on there, you have until November 22nd to pull it off, and then it's gone forever. And that is the Google changelog. In reverse.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
Well done. All right. Cool. We make the show our own when Leo is traveling the world.
He's going to stop leaving you in charge. We actually talked about Google. We did that in reverse. Although Jeff
Stacey
and I still had a
show
fight. So I'm like Team Helvetica versus Team, I don't know which serif you were going to go for. But I'm assuming it's Times New Roman.
Caslon. No, Caslon. Well, actually, there's a story about Caslon and me.
Oh.
Nope.
So when I started, hey. When Uncle Jeff starts a story, you say, oh, goody.
It's story time.
So when I started Entertainment Weekly, The design was, frankly, I will admit it today, ugly at first. And there were other business reasons why we were getting cancellations, but it wasn't my fault. But they were blaming the design because it was the first major magazine produced all Macintosh, entirely Quark. And they came and they said, it's that font. It's that unreadable font. You picked this computer font. It's a postmodern font. It was Caslon. Caslon has been around for centuries. And indeed, in the lobby of Time Inc., they had a huge typographic sculpture of a whole font tray. It was like a story tall. It was Caslon. It's the exact same font, but it was that postmodern computer font you use, Jarvis. So I have a certain soft spot in my heart.
It was the font used for the U.S. Declaration of Independence.
Caslon.
Wow.
Caslon.
All right.
Say that with reverence.
I saw something like a month ago. It's probably a meme of some sort. It was like it was making fun of the fact that like Avatar, with all the millions upon millions of dollars, budget and everything, still opted for papyrus as its font set for its logo. It's like, yep, they just decided we could do anything with all of our money, but papyrus is the right font to choose for the logo of this multi-million-dollar movie. That's my font story. That's the only font story I have right now. Sorry that I had to contribute. Let's do numbers and tips and tricks. I already did my tool. So yeah, if you don't remember, it's the Recorder app, and find it on APK Mirror. Jeff, what is your number?
What other number could it be today? Has to be on this show of all shows. Google can drink. Google is 21 years old.
Oh. So who's going to take Google out and get Google drunk?
Well,
I think Google should take us all out and get us drunk.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it on their dime.
Yeah, Google can foot the bill.
I'll go. Just put it on their dime.
Google could afford to buy the world a drink, really. Happy birthday, Google.
Happy birthday, Google.
Oh, no, not. I told you it would happen.
All it wants to do is come to the party. Come on, Jason.
Obviously, Google is listening. It's like, I'm here for the drink. Did you say drinks?
Wait. I think we should have a little song. I think we should all sing it.
Oh,
ready?
You want me to sing?
Oh,
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, dear Google. Happy birthday, dear Google. Happy birthday, dear Google. Happy birthday to you.
Okay.
That was really awful.
We will not be winning any Oscars or Emmys or anything.
Look what you've done, Jeff. Look what you've done.
Did the viewership just drop off?
Pretty sure. Yeah, I think the chat room is empty now.
His headset ran out of the room.
If Leo wasn't convinced before never to leave again, now he definitely
done
is.
I have a cool tool.
All right, what's your tool?
Okay. This is super nerdy, but I love it. And it's been around for a while, and I had no idea. It's called PlantNet, and it's this community project to identify. You take a picture of your plant, any plant, on the phone, and it identifies it for you.
Oh,
it's so awesome.
That is cool.
And it's free. And when you log in, you don't have to log in. So you could do all this and be totally selfish and not contribute back to the community, but it'll identify plants even if you don't log in. But if you log in
with Google Assistant.
Oh yeah, so this is a little bit. It's better than Google Assistant, and you're contributing to. I've tried it. I've tried to identify plants with Google Assistant, but yeah. So it's using image recognition. It takes your images and you can add your location, and you say, hey, this is. Anyway. So far, I have tried all kinds of crazy plants, and it works really well. And I love it. As a person who's like kind of nerdy and stupid, I'm really excited about this. So that's my pick of the week.
Let's see here. So what's a plant I can do a search for here?
Oh, do a chocolate vine, because I have one near my house and it's growing.
Chocolate vine?
Chocolate vine. Okay, let's see if I can get this to work here. Hold on, I'm just trying to get the image in a new tab. Let's see if this will work. It might not work. I don't know if you got the overhead.
Oh, nice. I see what you're doing
We
here.
can certainly try this.
I see what you're doing.
Okay, so there's a chocolate vine. There's the app. I'll go camera. Yes, allow. Okay.
You and all your security.
Okay, so then I take the shot. It might not be framed perfectly for the... Let's see. I'll be surprised if this works. It's all pixelated and everything. Choose related organ.
So that's a flower, like a flower. Like what part of the tree or what part of the plant are you looking at?
Okay.
That sounded very bad.
Yeah. Chocolate vine.
We got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Outstanding.
Boom. That vine is
it's just-
chocolate.
I have one of those, and they make these weird, crazy-looking fruits. And I was like, what the heck are these giant, weird fruit things? And now I know.
Nice. That is really
I don't know,
cool.
you guys.
That is
I'm
really
super
cool.
nerdy about this.
I love it. And I'm happy that it worked. It's always nice when a demonstration works.
Yeah, especially that particular demonstration. I was like, well,
Could yeah. Who knows? Who knows where it's going to
ratcheted
go?
up the level of difficulty there, and it worked.
But it worked. That's what I like. All right, Ant, what you got?
Mine is a little bit different. As I said previously in the show, I like airplanes. I'm an AV nerd and just love watching airplanes. And there's a website I go to that's called airlinepilotguy.com, but they also happen to do a podcast. Now, when you go and look up news from airlines and so forth, 9 times out of 10, it's sad. These guys, they give you what they say, a view from the pilot's perspective. Yes, they share news that is some sad news, but there's also some other things out there that's really nerdy and technical. And they are actually big fans of the Twig network too, I found out.
We
The
love
main-
them then.
The main
Hi,
guy,
airline people.
Captain Jeff, he's the main airline pilot. He told me
want you to call me that
himself he
from
was
now on.
inspired by our Mr. Leo Laporte to start his podcast and start the website,
Hey.
even down to using these particular microphones. And
Very nice.
but I love the podcast, like I said, because it's real nerdy.
What kind of things do you learn? Yeah.
And it's not always just the bad news, because Boeing is screwing up and having all of their issues with the 737 MAX and so forth. But there's other things out there. There's
There's a
always
new
some
thing
good
today.
stories.
Did you see it today?
Oh no,
Yeah?
I didn't see it today. No.
New 737. They're within a week. They've got to inspect all kinds of 737s for fatigue in the wings.
Oh man. See, I like getting more uplifting stuff on my podcast. I don't like all this sad news, but these guys are funny. Now, I know we have long podcasts on here, but their shows are usually about 3 hours long. But it's, about 3 hours long. But it's funny, and I really do enjoy listening to those guys. Captain Jeff.
Well, it
shout
makes
out
us
to you.
seem positively brief.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the soul
I
of
think
wit.
we've had 3 hour shows on this network.
Oh,
too.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's happened for sure.
easily.
And folks in the chat room are saying that some of them,
Oh,
the
they
hosts
actually
or one
do
of the
call
hosts
in.
have actually been relatively frequent guests on the Tech Guy.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Captain Jeff. There's Captain Dana. There's also retired Captain Nick and Dr. Steph. They're all just varying ranges of aviation certification and so forth. So you get different point of view and a lot of different fun stories. And they have a good time with bourbon and beer.
Nice.
Not while flying.
Not
we
while
hope.
flying, though.
Yes.
Not while flying. But that's
I want
my
us all
pick.
to be captains. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's my pick. It's just something
Captain
that's
Stacey.
a little more happy and uplifting.
Yeah. Right on. Nice. Good pick. Good pick, Captain Ant.
Thank you, Captain Howell.
Thank you. We are all captains here, including you, Captain Stacey, and Captain Jeff, and Captain listeners as well.
I think we might be an insult to captains everywhere.
It's true. I might be really insulting captains
And
all
our
over the world.
co-pilot is Karsten.
Right.
Karsten, the first mate.
Karsten.
Today it's actually John.
It's John.
Jammer
Oh, it is John.
Yes,
I see.
Karsten.
No wonder I haven't gotten insulted or attacked today.
Karsten is with the team getting ready for the Last Pass event.
Boston. Okay.
That happens tomorrow. But that's it. We've reached the end. Captain Jeff, what do you want to leave people with? Where should people...
just plain old...
buzzmachine.com?
Look me up at Medium. Yeah, that's fine.
Medium, at Jeff Jarvis. Don't do a search for Captain Jeff. You probably won't find him. You might find a Captain Jeff, but you won't find Jeff Jarvis. Also, Captain Stacey Higginbotham, Stacey on IoT.com. Thank you, Stacey. Always fun doing a show with you. At GigaStacey on Twitter. And then Captain and Pruitt.
I am.
Sitting at the table.
Yes.
Anything you want to promote, or you have a hands-on tech episode?
I want to promote, first and foremost, hands-on tech.
Okay.
With what Micah did with that bear, Jamie, that was pretty. It was pretty daggum funny. Pretty well done. I also have my OpSpot Tail review out there where you get to meet my dog Kylo Finn. But actually, go back and check out Triangulation from last week.
Ah, yes.
That is twit.tv/TRI, episode 416, where I sat down with my friend Todd Moore, who is the developer for the popular app White Noise. I watched how that app just changed his life. It was pretty
interesting.
fascinating.
Now, did you know him before the app?
I knew him right as he was getting into it. Met him several years ago, and it's pretty crazy.
I mean, that's a huge app.
Blew up.
I mean, I use that app every time I travel.
Yeah.
When I travel, that's the app that I use. Yep.
But it was a fun conversation. I don't want to share too much here. Go over there and check it out. It's worth a listen.
Right on. That's
twit.tv/try.
Yes, episode 416 with Todd Moore. And that was your first triangulation.
That was my first.
Fantastic job.
And I survived.
You did. See? Knew you'd do great. All right. And then, as for me, I'm just here doing shows on the Twit Network. Tomorrow, actually, Tech News Weekly, Ant is going to be sitting with me.
Wait, what?
Micah is off. Did I not tell you?
I'm doing
We'll talk about it. Micah will not be here tomorrow, so Ant will be on set with me.
Oh, boy.
Designated hitter.
Yes. Yeah, apparently I didn't do a good job prepping him for this show. You're going to do great. We'll talk. But that's twit.tv/TNW. If you want to go there, you can find all sorts of interviews and episodes. Last week we had Stacey on to talk about the Amazon stuff. So, it's a fun show. Definitely check it out this week. Ant and I will be talking to a few interesting people as we do each and every week. That is it, though, for this episode of This Week in Google. If you want to find out everything you need to know about this show, you can do that at twit.tv/twig, TWIG. There you can find the show page where everything you need to know is located. Mainly the subscribe links. You can get to the YouTube channel, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Twit.community.
Also, that's a new thing that we're working on right now. Twit.community. Is it community? Yes, Twit. Okay, I didn't know if it was backwards. Twit.community. And if you go there, you can sign up for a community account. It's on Discourse. It's just a really cool kind of community forum, essentially. And, we're all contributing and pitching in, and there's a lot of active discussions happening right now.
It's been a lot of fun in
page.
It's been a lot of fun in there.
It's cool seeing people, they have questions, start threads. I mean, it's a true forum based around everything that we do our shows here on. And, you can talk directly to us. You can talk to each other. It's just another option for you to kind of keep communicating with other people, like-minded people who are interested in technology the way that you are. So
and there's dark mode.
Twitch.community. Yeah, there is a dark mode. You can turn on a dark mode. So there you go, Jeff.
Cool. You just taunt me.
But that is it. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, John, for your help. And thanks to Burke. He was helping out here, too. Everyone who helps us do these shows each and every week. We can't do it without you guys. So we really appreciate your help. And thanks to you for watching and listening. We'll see you next week on another episode of This Week in Google. Bye, everybody. Seriously? Right at the end? You gotta be kidding. Of course it did that.
That's how you end the show.
Yeah, it should be every time.
Oh, dear.
Every time it should do it.
Yes.